Okay, are we doing the intro?
What intro?
An intro.
What intro?
You know, any intro.
Yeah, we'll do an intro. What do you want? Well, yeah.
Like, you know, just a basic intro where you're just like, yo, welcome to WhoopX2, I'm so-and-so, and I'm so-and-so.
All right, yo, what's up? Welcome to WhoopX2. I'm so-and-so. I'm on the phone with somebody else that works for WhoopX2. That's so-and-so. And we're going to interview Polk from Project 4. No, okay. All right. Hey, what's up, everybody? This is Mr. J from WhoopX2. Are you okay there, dude?
Oh, yeah, I'm fine. That was just my dog. I'm the rootless one.
Yes, that person over there. We're going to interview Project Born.
PJB.
Yeah. So get ready to have a peanut jelly and butter sandwich. So hold on for a second. Let me click them in. It's like,
you there?
Yeah, what's up?
Hi, you there?
Yep.
All right, I got Nitty on the phone with us, so we good.
What's up?
All right. Welcome to WhoopX2, everybody. We are going to be interviewing Polk and Nitty from Project Born. Right now, we have on the phone both of them, and this is Mr. J, and I have my partner in crime.
The rootless one over here?
Yes. I want to, before we even start, I want to thank y'all for letting us do this interview with you. We really appreciate it. We've been fans for a really long time, and I mean, like, people that don't know the history of Project Born, can you, like, you know, give them a little overview of, you know, what y'all have done for the underground?
Go ahead.
Yeah. We jumped in this game, I believe like 92, 93. We came in, we started off with a losing single with Esham, featuring Esham, and that was actually just on cassette. We end up, doing, after that we did a few shows, Esham, then we met ICP, did a show with them, then we eventually signed to Psychopathic Records in 1994. We released our first EP on Psychopathic Records in February of 95, which was called Born Dead, which featured a song with Graveyard, had a Lieutenant on there, and it was like a 6-song EP that we released on Psychopathic Records. We were the first group signed to Psychopathic Records. We've been in the game for now I'm about 28 years. 28 years, and you know we have released how many albums we released? 10, Chris?
10, yeah,
10 albums in that 20-year period. We have been traveled this whole country doing shows, representing the Juggalo community and our projects, River Park, Flint, Michigan. We have represented for 28 years, putting it down everywhere.
That's cool.
That's we've had a lot of ups and downs. It's been what it's been, but it's been a great ride.
That's what's up. Yeah, I was recently just going through y'all's discography, because I first heard of y'all back when I first became down with the clown. That was in like 96, and I heard the Born Dead album, and back then the internet wasn't what it is now, you know what I'm saying? But I was bumping that Born Dead album like like nothing, you know what I'm saying? But going through your discography, man, you mentioned having lots of ups and downs, like you had Born Dead, which was through Psychopathic, and Crapper Natural and Jack the Reaper through, I think that was Hard Luck. And The Rent Is Due through Project Mob, and Ghetto Celebs through Plugged In. And in 2007 is when y'all did the Once Upon a Time in the Project through Project Boy Entertainment. And I was just glad to see, you know, through all the ups and downs that y'all just did not give up doing your thing, you know, going through all them different labels just to eventually drop your own stuff. I just want to basically know, like, was there ever a point between the Born Dead release and the Once Upon a Time and the project's release where y'all felt like maybe discouraged or even given up on the industry?
You know what? Like if you look at the first Born Dead was Psychopathic, then the Crapanachi was Hard Luck. But see, Hard Luck and Plugged In is the same. You know what I'm saying? They just changed the name. And then the Project Mob, we just changed it to Project Boy instead of using Project Mob. We made it more, you know what I'm saying, universal or whatever. So all those, like if you hear naming all those labels, it sounds like a bunch of different ones, but they all the same.
Thank you for clearing that up, because when you just look at the discography and even look at the albums and see all those record names, you know, one would, you know any better, would just assume, you know, like, dang, they went through so many people.
Right.
But you know, but even through that, like, you've been in the industry, in the music business for so long. I mean, you know, you even said guys had ups and downs. Like, did you ever get to a point to where it was like, I don't want to do this no more, or was it just something that just felt like motivating you more?
I don't think you can go 28 years and not get discouraged. I don't think it's not one artist at some point in their career that got discouraged at certain situations. Like, you know, we have, when we say up and down, we have been through everything. Anything that can possibly happen to anybody in this world will happen to us all the time. Like, all the time. Like, we talking from travel situations all the way to, you know, just, you know, trying to put these records together, not do this. It's everything that possibly happen. But, you know, the thing about it is that we're built that way. Like, you know, we are really, like, from the project, we really came up rough. So it kind of builds, you know, gets you ready for the rough ride you're going to have in life. Like, you know, like, man, I came up dead broke. I came up this and that. I came up in a neighborhood where it was violence and drugs, and there's nothing that you can really put across us that you can say that's going to break it. Like, man, we done seen worse than this. This is nothing, you know. So it kind of gets like that. Like, you know, when you go through that, you deal with people, and you, especially in the rap industry, you're going to do a lot of snakes. You know, it's going to be a lot of fakes. It's going to be a lot of, like, you have a lot of relationships where they're more high and by. When I see each other, that everything's good, it's pound, this and that. But then when you ain't around, it's, you know, it's different. But, you know, you have to understand how the people roll. And that's just about the rap game, period, from the Born Dead all the way to there, all the way to today. It's been that way. You know what I'm saying? It's just been that way. And, you know, we just accumulated a lot of foes. You know what I'm saying? It's, you know, and some people do hang around to be beneficial, because we were beneficial to a lot of people. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, if you really know, like, how many hands we had in a lot of people coming up, like, you know, whether it's moving from one level to the next, you know, we did a lot of helping for a lot of people. But we don't even care about that, because it's just about, you know, trying to kind of moving the underground game. You know, learn what we learn, pass it on to somebody else, so they don't have to go through the same trials and tribulations that we went through. So that's kind of how we look at it. But it's been a road.
Oh yeah, absolutely agree with you. But I feel like, you know, everybody's got to have their own, you know, going to have their own trials and tribulations. And, you know, when you come up with nothing, like, you start from nothing, you have nothing, you get something, you know, you don't really have the fear of losing it, because you know you could get it back at some point. So. Right. You know, I feel you on that one.
Yeah, you know, I don't take too much for granted. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, when you don't have nothing, when you ain't had nothing, it's like, it's hard to take something for granted, because, like, you really came from nothing, so you always playing with house money. You know what I'm saying? We always playing with house money. You know, we always went from nothing to something. You know what I'm saying? Whether it's a little bit, whether it's a lot, you know, whether we come up large or we come up, you know, we have put in our work. You know what I'm saying? That nobody can take credit for all the work that we done put in and what we have put out to the underground. That nobody can even look at it and be like, okay, we can take Project Born out of this equation. No, you can't. We've done our work.
Yeah, I mean that brings up a question that I want to ask you is, knowing that this is a knowing and feeling thing for y'all, like, because I know a lot of artists that, you know, were underground, you know, 10, 20 years ago, plus, like, y'all, do you see and feel that, like, y'all are iconic, and especially to a lot of the artists and stuff that are doing stuff today? Do y'all understand how pivotal that was to some of these artists today, and how these newer artists are borrowing, or they wouldn't be where they were if it weren't for y'all? Do you, or, you know, for your things that you put into the game? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I know. I know what you're saying. I just think we was a part of the stepping stone for the underground. You know how you make steps, and it's like, and everybody, like, it's kind of like, you know, Esham, ICP. You know, Esham was that guy. Like, you know what I'm saying? I believe that he was the foundation to this wicked underground whole thing. I think he was the person that opened the moniker for the really set the foundation for what everybody does now. You know what I'm saying? I think ICP and them made it more business-like and built the empire that way. You know what I'm saying? They bought, I think they bought everything that we thought with a vision. They put a vision to everything that, you know, everything that they did. They was great at that. You know what I'm saying? Esham was great at, I think he was great at putting records together, and I think he did the best underground wicked stuff, like, from the time he first dropped all the way up to probably Dead Flowers, you know, after, you know, and then and on, and all the artist albums. Like, he set the bar so high. Like, we'd never catch. I don't think nobody would never catch that, like, doing that. But I think as far as, like, the business side, like, I think the steps, the kind of the foundation you need, like the Project Born, the Esham, the ICPs, you know, and everybody who came after that, you know, it was all a stepping stone for the people that does it today. You know, it created a lane. You know, whether you want to call it horrorcore or, you know, wicked, but it's all in the underground market. It just, you know, it can't be on mainstream. But we all lay that foundation together. Because I remember back when there wasn't no internet and it wasn't no computers and this and that and everything. We was doing reel to reel when we came in. And anybody, if you're old enough to know what a reel is, you know, everything had to be done on one take, like that and ADAS. Like, you couldn't, like, now people punch. Like, you know, we do punches now because we got computers. But back then, everything was done on, you better go in there, you better know it. You mess up once, you got to start all over. You know what I'm saying? So it just evolved for everybody to do something, you know. And it was important for everybody who came to come when they came, especially for the underground, because they were trying to silence this kind of music. This wasn't the music that they wanted nobody to hear. You know what I'm saying? It was, you know, they didn't want to hear no losing it and graveyards and all the Esham stuff he was doing. You know, that they didn't want that to come to their kids' ears. That wasn't what's up. They didn't want that to come. They was shook at that kind of music.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So going back, like, because, and it's not just like in the music industry, like the underground has always been kind of like pushed to the wayside, and it's always had a cult following and everything. But that doesn't mean that the you know, certain industry sets are, you know, not applicable. Like I said, like, there's plenty of snakes in the grass in this industry, and even in the underground, it's really like no telling who you could trust or anything. But it's like, still to do the thing and to still put out the music regardless, you know, like y'all did. And you said it's a stepping stone, man. Y'all ain't just a stepping stone, you know, like just to keep doing it and still doing it. And even though things change, certain things always remain the same, and the attitude behind it is what's always going to remain constant. So keeping in mind past, present, what would you say some of your favorite artists would be of now?
Of now?
Yeah.
Like today, or just like just overall, just.
Or no, just like overall. They could be from the past, present.
Okay. Me, mine is my favorite is Rakim, Ice Cube, LL, Tupac. Mine. You know what I'm saying? Scarface, Ghetto Boys.
Yeah, Ghetto Boys. Yeah, I'm about the same. Like Tupac. Scarface. I love Scarface. Big Daddy Kane was, when I originally first started listening to music like that. Big Daddy Kane and then MC Ren, them was the people that I listened to try to pattern style behind it. When I started studying rhyme, I started people at certain artists that, you would try to go with. Like in Daddy Kane, I believe, was number one on the list. I love MC Ren. When they would come up, Tupac and Scarface, they had great skills. NWA, and it's just like, it's so much, it's like, there's so many artists that make up, that we looked at to put together how Project Born come together. You see how styles change and how things is. It's like, I don't know, it's a bunch of artists. Like,
Yeah, I feel that. Especially when you're looking up to someone. Like, one of my biggest, because I'm an artist myself, but one of my biggest influences was Bone. And Bone is what actually got me started to try to analyze rhyme and learn bars and actually get into rap. And then you mix them with Wu-Tang and it's just become a whole another thing. But
with me, what really got me into doing music, it wasn't even a rap star. It was my uncle. My uncle was rapping, and I remember it like it was yesterday. He was vividly. Me and him, we was staying in Kentucky, and we'd always be in the room together. He was always writing and doing writing rhymes. So I wasn't even rapping yet. So he challenged me to a rap battle. I'm like, fuck, okay, I'll go ahead. He ate me apart. I'm sitting in the room and just like, I never wrote a rap or nothing. He was just like, it wasn't even on my radar to do music. And he said, after I did that, then, I sit there, I had to soak that loss up. And then I say probably like 3 months later, I came back to Michigan. And then probably a few months after I came back to Michigan, I picked up the pen and pad and started to write. Cause I guess I was still fumed about that loss. You know what I'm saying? But it made me pick up the pen and pad to start even thinking about doing music, because I never thought about doing music. You know what I'm saying? I never wanted to be a rapper. I wanted to be a lawyer. I never wanted to be a rapper. Rap music was nowhere in sight. And I believe he gave me the inspiration to want to do it by beating me down in that room that day. And I came back to Michigan and I started picking up the pen and just started. Then when I picked up the pen, then I actually ran to my boy Pint, her name Marshall Howard, Pint. He's the other part of the group. And he was like, man, you want to be a group? Let's be a group. You know what I'm saying? And that's how we got started. But I wasn't. Rap came out of the blue for me. It wasn't on my radar. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
He was my inspiration. My uncle was the person who got me to rapping. Before I even started getting in tune with even real artists. Like, he made me want to rap, because I see him and he was good at it. You know what I'm saying? He was good, and then, and I don't believe if we didn't have that encounter in that room that day, that I would even be sitting here talking to you, you know what I'm saying, or putting these 28 years in if it wasn't for him.
Yeah, I feel that, man. Bless your uncle for, that day and setting you on this path, because it's been a bumpy road, but it's been a good road, at least from the music I heard. Yeah. I mean, Born Dead 3 is really popping.
I appreciate that.
Thanks, man. Yeah, Born Dead 3 came out really good.
I've got this is sort of a a two-part question. It's the first part's not that big, but with how promotion was, you know, in the 90s, early 2000s, and the way that it is now, and for the younger audience that didn't really get to experience this, what I mean is, one of the things that was used to promote was passing out flyers. And I'm talking about, especially since there was like no internet, you know, or people, everybody had dial-up, but passing out flyers and promo items, like actually hand to hand, talking to people and giving them stuff. I'm talking about everybody, but like, how do you feel about you know, the old school way of promotion compared to how everything's done now on social media? And the other thing is, do you feel that the, you know, Born Dead EP could have been promoted, would have done better if it was pushed hard as fuck? Or do you think it was because everything was early, everybody was young, and it was very inexperienced in promotions? You know, do you think that's what halted it?
I think, with the promotion, how the promotion was done back then, the internet now. Back then, I liked, you know what I'm saying, liked it better then, but right now with the internet, you know, it's easier because all you gotta do, get on the computer, you ain't gotta leave your house and promote your album that you're dropping, you know what I'm saying?
You can't drive all the way to Seattle and start doing posters, put up posters and stuff out there, or California and stuff like that. On the internet, you can reach them. You know, without driving way out to, you know, to these spots. So, you know, I don't know, it's a double-edged sword with that, you know, because back then we also did in-stores. And in-stores was big because we got to, you know, they got to get to meet up and close with the artists and talk with them, you know, right there in their face. So it wasn't like it was so much of a barrier between it, because we pull up to a record store and, you know, you have people waiting outside for you. They waiting, they got their stuff. And you signing and you talking and you have a regular conversation. You know, we got more up and close and personal with the people back then doing in stores. You know, now they do these little meet and greets, and you don't really you get to talk to them to an extent, but then most of them get up there, take a picture, move on because we got to do a show. But when you did in stores was done strictly for, you know, them buying stuff and you signing and talking. You know, you didn't have nothing else to do. That was your purpose. So that was another aspect of the whole game. Like, but today is like, you know, you put up the flyers, this and that, you know, and you can just get it further. And with the Born Dead thing, I believe Born Dead at that time for what we had, like, at our disposal, like, you know, as far as distribution. I believe that was the best distribution situation at the time, because I believe what happened was with Psychopathic was the major distributor went out of business for some reason, and that's how it ended up with the relationship with like us and Psychopathic, you know, kind of, you know. It wasn't that we had some, like, our manager and they man Alex, they was, you know, they had an issue. But even with that, they came back, they was going to do our next album, but our people ended up choosing not to do it. Like, you know, True had to choose, because they asked to do another album. It wasn't like, you know, we did this and it was a problem, but it's just like, at that time, like, the distribution for that kind of music, I believe, was kind of small. We was just regionally. So regionally ain't gonna teach you, remember, you know, Michigan, Indiana, maybe Ohio, you know, something like that, all the connecting states. So all the distribution for Born Dead was only regional. You know what I'm saying? So it wasn't like, you know, we didn't like now where we had distribution all the way across the country. Like, distribution when you had your regions. You would do it regionally then, because they feel like you could sell more in around where you live than way on the other end of California where you have to do more promotion. So it kind of started like that, but that's how the situation was. Born Dead, I believe, is going to be huge. I think we was capped off at like 12,000. Like that was happening like in like a week, 2 weeks, week and a half, something like that. Like that was out the gate, and that's with hardly no promotion, minimal distribution, and that's just regionally.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? So imagine if we had the same thing, like that same situation, and we had it right now. Born Dead 1 would have went a couple times platinum probably.
Yeah.
Oh, without a doubt.
You know what I'm saying? Right now, like if we re-release it right now, we could sell a bunch of copies. Because everybody always asks about it. Like, man, you got Born Dead 1? The Born Dead 1? We could sell a bunch of copies right now still.
Well,
but,
Born Dead 1
like
is...
back then, it was distribution. Yeah.
No, I understand about the distribution. I was just commenting on that. But yeah, I was just going to say, because Born Dead 1 is the one album I can't seem to find on any type of platform nowadays. It's crazy. Like, you got everything else that y'all put out. But I haven't...
You can find, like if you find it online, like YouTube, it's like bullshit copies on there, but as far as like on platforms and stuff like that, it ain't on there, so a lot of people...
No, yeah, that's what I was saying. Like, I looked for it on Apple Music, and I see, got Born Dead 2, Crapper Natural, most of them other joints, but I look for Born Dead 1, and it's just nowhere to be found. It's just like, poof.
Right. Yeah, it's a possibility that it may jump back for y'all, you know what I'm saying? It's, we discussed it, it's, I don't know, man, we discussed it a little bit, so we just kind of figure out how to make it work. But it comes. It's just like, man, it's like when you sign to a label, and then they sign to a label, and then it's like, man, the whole thing is difficult. You know what I'm saying? It's
right.
a difficult situation.
Yeah.
It's just like you have to work that out. It's difficult.
Yeah, contracts and stuff. Especially being like, I think that's the main thing I've seen in documentaries and stuff. People talking about it is like the main thing is say we were young, we didn't know what was going on. We were just happy to be signed to a label, and we signed stuff, and stuff happened. So So.
Yep, and even back then, like a lot of people, they had a chance to go to Hollywood Records. I think it was, was it Hollywood Records? Yeah. Yep. Hollywood Records, you know what I'm saying? They hit Psychopathic about us. They want to. I think Hollywood Records was a part of Walt Disney.
Yeah.
And it was just like, they hit Psychopathic about us. And I believe what it was they were Psychopathic told like, they didn't believe they was giving us enough. You know what I'm saying? So it was just like, because Hollywood Records came up to be a nice spot. But
I still don't see how Hollywood Records signed ICP. I mean, like, I'd understand if their name was just Clown Posse. How can but just like, I guess they just, I know I've heard that so many times, and so many juggalos have heard that that apparently somebody at Disney thought that ICP was a family-friendly thing just because it had clowns in it, but that trips me out thinking about that. It just sounds so stupid. But,
did nobody go listen to the music first? That didn't make sense. Nobody listen to the music. These boys crazy.
I know this is an interview about y'all, but it's like I feel like they wouldn't have been that big if that particular blunder was not made, where everything was, because it was all in the news, and then they rode that wave hard and for a long time, you know. And I
they're supposed to, but they was gonna be big regardless. They spot was coming because of the way they worked. You know what I'm saying? They were, you know, Hollywood Records wasn't one of the deals in the process, but they had a lot of deals in the midst of that era where, you know, they had that bread. But the thing about it, they were smart with the way they did things. Their marketing was great. The way they bought and they shows to life was great. Like, you was going to catch on to them regardless, because they are what they are. Like, I haven't seen nobody do a better show than them ever in my lifetime. I've never seen nobody bring a show to life like they do. Don't know nobody in this world that I have seen, either on a video or in real life ever, I have seen bring a show to life like they do. They bring a show to life for you. You know what I'm saying? And that's what it's about. They are great at marketing and entertainment. So, you know, they were coming regardless. You know what I'm saying? And that whole movement, they was coming regardless. Esham was making his move. He was that guy. Like, when we came up, we got the song Esham. Esham was the man. You hear me? When I first heard of Esham, and this is, you know, even to go there. When I first heard of Esham, my boy brought it to my attention, and talking about he was good as Scarface and Tupac. And he said he do his own beats and he this and that. And I'm sitting there like, man, you got your goddamn mind. Ain't nobody on this level of Scarface and Tupac. And he do his own music. No, you know what I'm saying? I didn't until I finally heard Esham. I'm like, damn, this motherfucker hard. You know what I'm saying? I never heard of him before we started doing music with him. And it was just like, you know, he was gifted. ICP had vision. You know what I'm saying? They got vision and marketing. You know what I'm saying? That's their thing. They was coming regardless. Even with the Hollywood Records or not, you just pay attention to the shit that they do, and you just be like, God damn, how the fuck they think of that? Like, they just do that. Like, man, they great at marketing.
Yeah, I will not deny that. I will say that that little bit you said was talking about how good a show they put on, like how live that show is. You're making everybody and including me right now listening, tears come to our eye and miss shows right now. So as soon as this COVID shit is over, we gotta start having shows again. Make sure, everybody, make sure to support the artists, man. Like, if you're stuck in the house right now, you are stuck in the house, and you want these people want to have fun. Make sure you fucking buy shit. Support the artists, support the economy. Buy CDs, albums, shirts, whatever. You know. So people can continue to live and eat and everything, you know. That's their job.
Mm-hmm. Right.
We got to get Project Born on our next national tour.
Yeah, need to make that happen.
I'm ready. I'm ready for that, dude. I'm ready to just rock out. Like, everything has just been so, you know, just so, like, without no shows, like, man, it just seemed like, I don't know, everywhere we took that for granted. and then we're back, like, okay, we ain't got no shows, and everybody who was doing shows. I think a lot of this whole pandemic stuff that showed us about all the stuff that we took for granted, we shouldn't have. We got to take it more seriously in the next week. You know what I'm saying? When life come back to normal.
Yeah, absolutely. I can tell you right now, it's gonna be wild after this shit like lifts, but I'm hoping that shit don't bottleneck where people are like, you know, a town will have like 50 shows from like 200 different artists, or so, you know what I'm saying? Just like, it's because people are gonna go crazy. They need.
It'd be an apocalypse of music, is what it would be. It'd be apocalyptic concerts just rolling through.
Yeah, and I feel like everybody is going to go and going to want to go just because, hey, we've been stuck in our fucking homes, you know, for so long.
Yeah.
Get ready to
want
see.
to do shows.
Make sure to cover your titties.
Right.
I'm sorry. Anyway, Dro, you got a question, man?
Yeah, man, just to catch my breath after what Jay just said. Okay. So, so out of all the songs that y'all have done thus far, and the albums that y'all have put out, do you have any particular, like, favorite song that you personally would, like, straight just jam out to?
Song-wise, me, you know what? I had to sit back and think about that, like, favorites. I don't know, man. Like, I could say my favorite album is Born Dead 2. You know what I'm saying? But
okay, I feel that, yeah.
Individual songs, man, I don't know, because that Born Dead 2 album, you just go straight through that one, man. Like, that's one of those albums, man, where you just put it in and just let it go from the intro to the end.
I actually agree with you on that one.
Yeah.
Although off of that album, if I had to pick one song, the one that always got me the most hype was "Fuck With Me."
Oh, Fuck With Me, no, okay.
Yeah, that Fuck With Me go hard, but like the I like my favorite one of those is Born Dead 3. Yeah, Born Dead 3 was better. I don't know. I guess every time we go, I think we get better with each one. So. And then Born Dead 3 had a lot of really good songs, like, and Born Supremacy. Born Supremacy for the fact that Born Supremacy, I think, was our most personal album that we ever done. Like, you know, we had a lot of emotions in Born Supremacy.
Oh yeah.
I think we kind of poured our heart on more of our heart on record than we ever had. Like, you know, from, you know, a lot of people that had passed and stuff like that. It was like, you know, the timing of the record and the timing of certain people that you know that left us at the moment. And I really Born Supremacy was kind of really emotional moment. Like, it was our most emotional record ever. Like, we really kind of poured it out, man.
Yeah, that's really the one. That's the record where, like, you could step into your mind almost, like you could feel it.
Yeah.
And all like those listening, if y'all ain't heard it, oh, sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt. I was just gonna let our listeners know, if all y'all listening ain't heard it, listen to that record, Born Supremacy.
Yeah, Born Supremacy was like, you know, you can know when this person was like, because it's like we in the studio and you see tears coming down. You know what I'm saying? It was.
Yeah.
Because the stuff that we was writing was, it might have been my easiest record to write because I think it was just, everything was just, it kind of wrote itself. You know what I'm saying? It took on its own legs. It just, we kind of wrote itself. You know, and it was so much happening. So many people, you know, we were losing people left and right, and it was emotional. You know, and it was just days where we was tears in there. You know what I'm saying? Sitting in the studio, we in tears as verses were coming out. You know what I'm saying? And it's just like, that was a rough one to put together, like, as far as the emotions. But you know, it was really, really emotional.
Yeah, sometimes your hardest hitting emotional stuff is gonna bring out, sometimes it brings out the best, sometimes it brings out the worst, and I think a good combination of the both is what you got on that.
Yeah, so, like, I'm from St. Louis. I have a friend that was actually on one of y'all records. That nice.
Yeah.
Yeah. Damn.
It's the homie, man.
Yeah. He's pretty cool. That's my dude. I've known him for a long ass time. He was on your last, or sorry, if I say last album, he was on one of your albums.
Born Dead 2.
Yes. Continuing from what I was talking about earlier with promo and stuff like that. My I have a friend in St. Louis that, you know, we didn't grow up together, but he's been my homie for like the longest time. Nothing Nice, Dan. I'm trying to think of how to put this. With what we were talking about promo earlier, and you did bring up cassettes and having stuff released on cassettes, you know, way back then and stuff. Did you notice, and I'm sure you have, but that all of these old school forms of media are coming back? The only thing that really hasn't come back is 8-track, but a lot of artists now, especially new artists, which is kind of weird to have newer artists on vinyl and cassettes. But it's not just a novelty. People and fans feel that is a better quality and version than digital. How do you feel about cassettes and you know, all these older media coming back? And also, how do you feel about if everything went to digital? I mean, if everything was digital, how would you feel about that?
I like CDs. I mean, you know, the digital is cool, but you know, you don't always have those collectors. You know what I'm saying? They want to collect their CDs, but the vinyl, people, you know, like you said, people starting to get into the vinyls and mostly the vinyls, and then, you know, cassettes is finding its way back a bit too. So it's good, man. I mean, as long as they keep the CDs coming, though, you know, I like the CDs myself.
Yeah, I mean, I do everything digitally now. You know what I'm saying? It's just I just do because my CDs and stuff are getting messed up. So that made me go straight to doing all digital. So I get, you know, I pay for a digital site title. And I do all my album stuff through there. So I listen to all my music on digital now. You know, and that's just because it helped me be able to keep up with my stuff.
Yeah, and people ain't gonna steal your CD book out the car no more because it's not fair.
Right. Right.
Yeah. Oh my God, I had that happen so many times. Or I lost it, you know.
Yeah, that happens a lot. Like, my kids would get in the car, take my CD out, and just throw that boy across the front seat somewhere. I'm like, dude, take a CD out, put it in the case. I try to explain that to him.
So, back in the early days, and back in like the 90s, and even a little bit in the mid-2000s, you know, they were starting to go digital, but things were still recorded on analog tape. Now with everything being as digital as it is, you know, people can, and almost anybody can make something and, you know, make music and put it out there. Is it, in your opinion, is there a fault to that? Like, would it be the blaming of digital media becoming the mainstream as to why we have a lot of garbage out there, or is it just something that would have come up no matter what?
That was gonna happen regardless. Like now everybody can get a mic and computer can be a real rapper. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You can get a mic and computer, you can be a rapper. And that's what it's been doing. Everybody, even people without enough skills, all you gotta do is have enough money to be able to do it. Have enough promotion, whether you're good or not. You get your friends to get behind you, there you go.
But do you think if it wasn't for that, if we were still rocking in studios with all analog equipment, recording on tape? I mean, I remember people, you know, getting these little 4-track tape recorders that you put a cassette tape in, and even, but some joints were even like, you know, in the $300-400 range. So if we were still then, do you think that we would have an overabundance now, or is it still like one of those where it would have happened regardless because, let's face it, it's the way it is?
It's coming regardless. I mean, how many people right now, they can't come up with $300 or $400? Like, when people start to get older, then people would really bring the rap by doing music, like a lot of people would do, because they see some other people doing it, and they just want to get into it. They get 300 or 400. I get 2 or 3 of your buddies to get me up for $100 each. I got a machine. You know what I'm saying? And then there you go. Record. And then there you go. It was kind of regardless. You know, I don't think the evolution of the equipment made everybody start rapping. I think it was the grammar of credibility made people want to rap. You know, people, when you get the good thing, when you do music, you can write it any way you want to. You can be whoever you want to in music. Some people write their true life stories. Some people like fabricate stories to be something they're really not. Kind of like how you do on social media.
Yeah.
So what everybody started to do, I figured, like, you know, a lot of like rappers, you know, they made it cool to be a rapper. You know what I'm saying? Like, well, like, yeah, I'm a rapper, blah blah blah. That seemed to be come off as being cool. So that's why everybody started to be in it, because, like, you know, you do a rapper, girls and this and that and all that come together. You know, they don't never see the other side of it. One thing I try to explain to people, especially anything like when we go on tour, everything is just, you know, on tour, it's these hoes, it's this, it's partying, it's nonstop, this and that, action. Like, that's the biggest lie that anybody ever fed.
Well, no, it's a lot of work.
It's always business. Yeah, it's a lot of fucking work. Somebody got to collect the money. Somebody got to make sure everybody's in certain places at certain times. We got to be here, set up merch. We got to watch this merch. We have to do this. It's so much other work. By the time you get at the end of the day, I don't want no damn drink. I'm just ready to lay down. I ain't trying to party. I'm not, don't know.
What you trying to do, girl? Get off me.
Right. We get like at 2 o'clock in the morning by the time we got back to the hotel, and then we probably had to leave. Sometimes we had to leave like 6, 7, so, you know what I'm saying? Some people want to stay up 4 hours or something. I might really take a nap, whatever. But it's like, you got to be gone to the next city in a few hours. You got to start making that drive. And, you know, and it's just like, it's way more work than what people would have led on to people to believe that it is. Like, people think it's just all fun and games. And I be telling people, like, man, it's not that. It is totally work. Like, if you ain't got people to do all, kind of like, if you're in a position where you got everybody that does everything else for you, you just sit back on a bus and just go perform, okay, you know, then, alright, okay, that might make it seem a little bit more. But if you got to do any work of your own, like, you got to make it, like, you know, like us, we do everything our own. Like, we drive to every spot, we do this, we do all our merch and everything. So it's like, somebody got to watch the merch. Somebody got to collect the money. Somebody got to make sure that we get our pay from the people. Somebody has to, you know, make sure we get ready to go on. Somebody got to make sure we got a show tape together. You know, they got the show tape ready to go to the man. Everything has to be on point when you're doing your own shit. And it wears your ass out.
And for a example, so people that don't really understand that, the job that most people have, and I'm not trying to downplay anybody's shit, but you're either sitting down or you're especially now because of you know the COVID lockup and everybody's working on their computers or wherever from home. You're sitting down chilling out, or if you're working in fast food or retail or something, you're just moving at your own pace. And if you're an artist such as Project Born or anybody like that, you're on tour, you're doing a show every night. And think of you're tired. People, regular people, are tired at the end of the day. You do a show, you're doing like a 45-hour set, 45-minute or hour set, or a little bit over or whatever, and you're going full fucking pace, jumping up and down, going around. That's how you think you'll wear out from just sitting down. Think about this, and you do this every fucking night. I understand. I totally understand that. Totally fucking under. You can't. I can't see how. I don't think I would be able to do no shit like that. Where, because it's like, you know, running track and then you get like a night's break, but it ain't really a break because you got to like stay up and make sure the person that's driving ain't having an accident. You know, shit like that.
Right.
You know. Mm-hmm. Oh yeah. I'm sorry. I'm having flashbacks.
Hey, another merch kid. Yeah, he's running off with the money. Hey, get him!
Right. Yeah.
Looking, having to run people down. Club owners decide, oh no, we're not going to pay, or the booking manager is just like trying to screw you over, and then you got to fight this and that. Like, you know, it's funny because even now, you know, you got all these what I like to call SoundCloud rappers. that, you know, are making it try to be like, oh, the life is glamorous. It's like, well, if you, like you said, if you got somebody doing everything for you, then, you know, but let's face it, with this whole new age now, I mean, there's just some people that just should not be out there, is all I'm gonna say. There's just, I don't understand the mumble rap thing. Like, I do not get it. I don't understand the appeal of crap, to me, crap music. I mean, to me, real rap, real hip hop, yeah, you know, a good beat is fundamental, but you gotta have the lyrical content, otherwise, to me, what's the point? You know,
bro,
like,
I'm gonna stop. Hold up. I'm gonna let you talk. I'm stopping you right there. So I'm gonna say this, and I'm gonna so I want everybody to know, and I want everybody to fucking know this right now. Now, I have an older son. Older son. I have a son that's in his almost 20, and I understand. You know, I don't understand what they're saying in the rap, but I just thought about this the other day too. I'm just like, yo, I can't be dogging on, like, you know, this mumble rap or whatever. Some of the shit I like. I don't hate all of it. Some of it just don't make sense or whatever. But the thing is, I'm not trying to be like my parents or their parents, because you got to think about it, this is a new era. We can't just say, oh, I don't like this new music, because our parents were saying the exact same shit. And their parents were saying
right.
So this is what's hyped to these kids now. This is what's hyped. So this is going, and I didn't think it was gonna last this long, but it's still here. It's just not good all of it's not good to us. I mean, but it is still art, it is still music. Some of it is bullshit. I'm not gonna lie about it. But
okay, you got a point on that. My bad. It's just
okay, yeah. Hey, Dro, do you got any more questions for him? Because
honestly, I just want to know what's next for Project Born.
Hopefully to stay alive through this pandemic. That's number one. After the pandemic, we'll try to, you know, get some more records together, try to get back on the road a little bit. You know, and that's basically our thing.
People can keep up with us at realprojectborn.com. You know, we got a web store on there where they can get merch from, you know, CDs. If they ain't got no music or our CDs, go online, download, stream it, however you want, you know. Some things that we got going on the website. Go to Instagram, The Real Project Born, Facebook, Project Born. You know, we all over the internet, so just keep up with us, and we got some things coming.
All right, we'll put a link below this so they can see it, and we'll probably be doing, or we will be having stuff in the video so they can see it too. So the stuff will be directly linked.
I appreciate that, man. We appreciate y'all.
We appreciate you talking to us so much. I appreciate it. All right.
Just want to say, Polk, Frank, Nitty, it's been a pleasure talking with y'all. Thank you for doing this with us. It's been an honor for me.
Sure, man. Thank you, man.
All right.
Appreciate you.
Thank you.